As the beloved daughter of Secretary of State William Seward, Fanny Seward's diary entries from 1858 to 1866 are the foundation of this vivid portrait of the young girl who was an eyewitness to one of the most tumultuous periods in American history, Civil War America.
It had already been a few weeks since the fateful day, but April 14th, 1865 still seemed so fresh to Fanny Seward.
I do not remember hearing voices outside Father's sick room, but something led me to think that my brother Fred was there with someone else.
The broad-shouldered stranger at the door of the Seward mansion held a package of medicine in his left hand. He kept his right hand inside his coat pocket. He insisted on going upstairs and giving Secretary of State William Seward the medicine personally. Denied entrance, the stranger left the hall and made for the steps. Frederick Seward, the son, stopped him.
I hastened to the door, opened it a very little, and found Fred standing close by it, facing me. Something in Fred's manner led me at once to think that I had better not have opened the door.
She shut the door quickly. In her innocence, Fanny could not have known that Lewis Powell, conspirator with John Wilkes Booth, intended to kill Secretary Seward. Powell began raining savage blows on Frederick's head with the muzzle of his gun.
I heard noises in the hall and thought perhaps a servant was chasing a rat. Then I was afraid something was wrong, and being impatient to find out, started myself for the door.
Suddenly, two men, side by side, burst through the door. Instantly, Fanny recognized her brother Fred.
The side of his face was covered with blood, the rest very pale, his eyes full of intense expression. On his right hand was the assassin. He was rushing towards the bed where Father lay. I ran beside him to the bed, imploring him to stop.
Fanny, now in shock, watched in horror by the foot of the bed. Powell's murderous rampage was directed at the person she loved most in the world.
Then I knew it was not a dream, and I screamed.
Fanny's brother Augustus, awakened by the shrill shrieks of his sister, burst into the room. Grabbing Powell from behind, Augustus shoved him to the door. Powell fled the house and rode off on his horse. But inside the house, a horrific drama was still playing out.
Father looked so ghastly that I was sure he was dead. He was white and very thin with the blood that had drained from the gashes about his face and throat.
Fanny simply clung to one thing only.
When Dr. Verdi arrived, he told our huddled family that no artery was severed and that Father's wounds were not fatal.
After her father's wounds were dressed, a number of Secretary Seward's colleagues rushed to his bedside.
Standing at Father's bedside, I first heard about the president, one of the gentlemen telling Mother that he had been shot and was not expected to live.